Did you know that the best hackers, be they black hat or white hat, are self-learned? All you need is a good laptop and the will to become an expert ethical hacker. Then, suppose you align your stars with your focus. In that case, you can make a ton of money without leaving your cozy room, given that ethical hacking is one of the highest-paying jobs in the United States. So, let's explore the simple and comprehensive process of becoming an ethical hacker to understand how you can kickstart your white hat journey. Also, stick around until the very end to know the best courses and materials for ethical hacking. Step 1. Which operating systems to start with? Since Linux and Unix are one of the most often used operating systems for hacking, you should be familiar with them if you want to be an ethical hacker. So, get your hands on Linux, Unix. These are open-source operating systems that can ensure better system security and many tools and options to play with. Red Hat Linux, Ubuntu, Kali Linux, and other popular Linux distributions are just a few examples. Of course, the most well-known Linux operating system created specifically for hacking is Kali Linux. Step 2. Which computer language to learn? C is considered to be one of the earliest computer languages and is also known as the mother of all programming languages, since Linux, Unix were entirely created in C. Knowing this language serves as the foundation for learning ethical hacking. So if you want to fully leverage the open-source operating system Linux, C programming is the go-to choice. Once you're done with C, try learning multiple programming languages to gain an additional advantage. A programmer that practices ethical hacking and is proficient in 2 to 3 programming languages can dismantle and evaluate any piece of code. Step 3. Be excellent at remaining anonymous. Learning how to remain anonymous online and mask your identity is the most crucial stage in ethical hacking because it leaves no evidence behind and makes you impossible to track down. Suppose a black hat hacker discovers that there is another user in the network. In that case, they may attempt to attack that user's system because ethical hackers are frequently unaware of who is using the same network. Anonymity is, therefore, essential for ethical hackers as well. Step 4. Understand networking concepts. Understanding networking principles and how they are made is essential for ethical hackers. Exploiting vulnerabilities requires knowledge of numerous networks and protocols. The difficulties in the industry can be overcome by an ethical hacker who has an in-depth understanding of networking technologies like Nmap, Wireshark, and others. Step 5. Explore the dark web. The dark web refers to the portion of the internet that is hidden or invisible to search engines. Access to it requires specialized authorization or software. For example, it can be accessed with the anonymous Tor browser. Although the dark web is a haven for criminal activity, not all of it is unlawful. It also has a good side, and ethical hackers must understand how it operates. Step 6. Finesse the art of cryptography. For an ethical hacker, cryptography or secret writing is a valuable skill, as hacking requires mastery of encryption and decryption arts. Information security uses encryption for several purposes, including authentication, data integrity, secrecy, and more. On a network, critical data is always encrypted, including passwords, so hackers must have the skills necessary to recognize and decrypt encryption. Step 7. Learn more about hacking. Once you've covered everything there is to know about hacking, go in depth and learn about things like SQL injections, penetration testing, vulnerability analysis, and more. Keep up with the most recent system security updates, as well as the newest hacking and system security tools and techniques. Step 8. Investigate different forms of vulnerabilities. In the hacking lingo, we define vulnerabilities as gaps or system weaknesses that can disrupt the program. You should acquire the skill of scanning networks and systems for security gaps. Ethical hackers may also attempt to identify and exploit their system's flaws. The better you manage these vulnerabilities, the better you are as an ethical hacker. Step 9. Start experimenting and practicing in the real world. The secret to becoming successful in the world of hacking is practice and experimentation. Ethical hackers must put their newly learned notions into practice in a variety of settings and circumstances. Check out different attacks, tools, and more. But don't forget, you want to become an ethical hacker, so keep your ethics in check while you're in practice. Step 10. Network with other hackers. Create a community or sign up for forums to engage in talks with other hackers from around the world to share information and collaborate. There are several communities on platforms including Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. This will help you keep up with the latest innovations and words on the street. Apart from these steps, you can also master the following skill sets to become an excellent ethical hacker. Firstly, you should be familiar with HTML and the uses World Wide Web. Next, focus on learning HTML, the markup language used on the web. Writing HTML is also helpful for non-programmers. Start by creating a home page, then build upon it by including stuff that will attract and benefit other hackers. To view the HTML and use it as an example, open the page source information in your browser. Then, examine the code by going to Web Developer, Page Source in Firefox. A simple word processing tool like Notepad or Simple Text can be used to create HTML. Secondly, you should learn how to operate an open-source Unix system. The first action a novice might take to learn hacking abilities is to get a BSD Unix or a copy of Linux. Then install it on a personal computer and simply launch it. Now, although there are other operating systems besides Unix, they are distributed in binary. In a closed-source OS like Microsoft Windows, the code cannot be read or modified. Due to this, the finest operating system to learn ethical hacking on is Unix. And finally, never compromise on your ethics. It is worth mentioning that high ethical standards set you apart from black hat hackers and are the most essential factors for being a successful ethical hacker. Now, to address the elephant in the room. What are the basic hardware requirements that your computer must fulfill to start with ethical hacking? You should have a minimum of 8 GB of RAM. However, 16 or 16 plus gigabytes would be better. In terms of storage, you should have a minimum of 250 GB of SSD storage and a 2 GB graphics card. And of course, the higher, the better. Along with this, you should have an Intel Core i3 or a better processor. Other miscellaneous things to consider are that your laptop should have a long-lasting battery life and that a mouse is a must. Interestingly, it is often seen that an average gaming laptop checks all of the requirements, and they are the most suited laptops for hacking. As mentioned before, you must have Linux Unix as your operating system for the software side. You cannot start hacking from Microsoft Windows. It is not made for that. Nonetheless, it is pretty interesting that you can do all of the things mentioned above without going to any fancy college or earning an expensive degree. In this field, all you need are a few good projects to showcase your knowledge base or some relevant past work experience. In addition, there are a lot of online courses that will help you gain knowledge. So, for starting with beginners courses, you can consider the following ones. Learn Ethical Hacking from Scratch by Udemy. It is a phenomenal course for beginners aspiring to ace the ethical hacking field. As the name suggests, this course offers a comprehensive guide to ethical hacking right from the base. The Complete Hacking Course, Beginner to Advanced, Udemy. It is one of the most sought-after courses on this list. It goes in-depth to teach students the tips and tricks of both penetration testing and ethical hacking. Learn Ethical Hacking Online by LinkedIn Learning. This course has something to offer for all preferences and tastes. It comprises a whopping 20 courses for aspirants to go through. So whether you're a novice or have some field knowledge, the course is designed to satisfy individual needs. And with this, we come to an end for this guide. If you have any doubts left uncleared, comment below, and we'll get back to you at our earliest. See you in the next video. Goodbye.